Hello and welcome to our Imperator Rome weekly talk about Imperator Rome thing. Yes, perfect intro, as always. Anyway, before we go into the dev diary or the Twitter teaser, I realized that I've missed a few Twitter teasers. Generally, I've just been looking at the ones that have been released on Sundays, and as such, I've missed a few. So, going back through them, I'm not sure if I showed this one to you, but the art of the deal does seem quite recognizable. I'm fairly sure I've seen this one before. So next one we've got here on the 22nd, we had the Syracusans Start. Apparently it's quite challenging. So planning your demise is a thing. I guess that means that Carthage really wants to murder Syracuse, which is interesting stuff. And the flags here look quite bright compared to what we see in EU4 and CK2. I kind of like them. They're pretty cool. Alright, next one up, we have a map of the Israel area, the Levant. Let's just be as uncontroversial as possible when we're trying to talk about this area. It's looking quite nice. Like, one of the things I really love about the map about Imperator Rome is how good it looks. So yeah, I'm totally on board with this. That just looks fantastic. And the amount of detail, like how many provinces is this in, for example, EU4? Also, one thing I want to point out is, look how many provinces are here along this coastline. So we've got this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 provinces. We can count this one as well, 15 provinces, along this coastline that we can see, but only 4 docks. So not every city, I guess, will have a dock, which is pretty cool. I like it. Maybe docks will be a bit more important. You can't just, if you have ships, you can't just dock in this province of Ashrod, maybe, I guess that's what it's called, I'm not sure, because it doesn't have any place to dock your boats. I like that, it's pretty cool. Alright, so moving on, we have the Twitter teaser for the dev diary that we're going to be talking about right now. So, we're going to be talking about, I think it's loyalty. So, having a look here, we're seeing unrest in the province of Syria Seole. I don't know how you pronounce that, but whatever. Unhappy pops plus 1.71. Master of the Guard is a thing. War exhaustion is a thing. Stability, tolerance policy. Bleed them dry. Be interesting to know what that means. Corruption is there, and governor's local troops. Right, lovely. Anything else interesting we can see on here, or is it all stuff we've seen before? I think pretty much we've seen everything here before. Alright, lovely. So, moving on to the dev diary. So, hi and welcome to the 19th dev diary for Imperator. This time we delve deeper into the concept of loyalty. Unrest. So, let's recap what we mentioned. Talked briefly about. Nice, Johan, thanks for that. Just make my job harder reading things. Anyway, we talked briefly about the unrest in the 16th dev diary and how unrest in cities affected the loyalty of provinces. Unrest also has 2 other direct impacts. The first is the reduction of commerce, tax, manpower, and research from the city, while when it reaches the threshold of 10 unrest, you can no longer recruit regiments in the city, build buildings, or interact with the population. That's interesting. That's a very new way of, doing unrest. I suppose when you don't have, specific rebellion troops pop up onto the map like you do in EU4, you kind of need something to replace that, don't you? And you can't use this province at all if you have this much unrest. Seems like something that would fit quite nicely. Unrest is generated through unhappy pops, low stability, war exhaustion, governors, policies, and corruption. It can also be reduced by various laws, positive stability, and by assigning armies to the local governor. Alright. The happiness of a pop depends on its culture and its religion compared to the country's religion and culture. Nothing new there. Different pop types also want different civilization levels to be happy. While the tribesmen want it as low as possible, the citizens want it rather high. Different laws make different types of pops more or less happy as well. Access to different goods in the city will also make pops happier. If a pop has less than 50% happiness, they'll contribute to the unrest of the province. Okay, now let's talk about loyalty. There are 3 types of loyalty we'll talk about today. as the loyalty of subjects is a subject for another dev diary, and I just wanted to type that sentence. Yeah, you did say loyalty and subjects a little bit too often there. All right. Province loyalty. Each province will have a loyalty value to the country. If it goes down to 0, then that province is basically 100% autonomous and provides nothing to you. They will cancel all trade to other parts of your country, and every city will be acting as if it had 10 unrest. Or at least 10 unrest. If enough provinces are disloyal, they will either start an independence war, if the dominant culture is not your primary culture group, or a civil war if they are of your culture group. Okay. So now we see where the difference of these two comes in. Civil war and independence war, fair enough. There are alerts if your provinces are disloyal, or if you risk a civil war or major revolt. Alright, so we can see province loyalty here, tyranny, governor loyalty, Scythopolis, Pella, Philadelphia. These are the different provinces, I guess, or the different cities in the province. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Lovely. Cohorts loyalty. Each cohort in an army can become loyal to a single person. This depends on the charisma of the commander during a battle or a siege. I would argue that it's not just down to the charisma that that an army became loyal to their general. Like, you might not be the most charismatic general, but if you keep winning, and then you keep winning again, and then you keep winning even more, your troops are going to think, you know what, he might not be the most friendly of chaps, but we're safe if we stick with him because he's a bit of a decent bloody general. Anyway, that's at least what I think about that. When a cohort is loyal to a character, the country pays less maintenance for it. Ooh, now that's interesting. As the commander of the unit is loyal to starts paying the unit him or herself, sorry. There is a slight drawback or two to having cohorts loyal to a character instead of a country. Like, for example, a cohort that is personally loyal to a character will not allow it to be transferred away from the unit in any way. Also, a character with cohorts loyal to him tend to become more disloyal over time. Alright. So let's try and keep the characters loyal. Alright. Characters' loyalty to the country is one of the more interesting aspects to manage, as disloyal characters are a huge risk, as disloyal characters will refuse to abandon their armies or provinces, and if enough are disloyal, they will form a bloc together to form a civil war. Some forms of government, a few inventions, and some ideas can increase loyalty of all characters. Giving people titles and offices will increase their loyalty, but removing them decrease their loyalty. Alright? Characters of the same faction as the ruler tend to become more loyal over time, while friends and rivals of the ruler will see their loyalty go up and down as well. When the loyalty of a character is below 33%, that character is considered disloyal. So it's interesting that if a province is beneath, where is it, 50%, I saw it somewhere. If a pop is less than 50% happiness, they contribute to their unrest. So you would call that like pop loyalty maybe, but for characters it is 33%. Alright, and then civil wars. While major revolt is not different from having a large nation revolt from you in other games, civil wars are dramatically different. The threat of civil war will start as soon as either 33% of the army is controlled by a character that is disloyal, or 33% of all provinces are disloyal to the country. During the threat of a civil war, a small timer ticks up each month, where the civil war will break out after a year. During this time you have an alert so you can see that you have a risk of it. Of course, there are alerts as soon as a single province is disloyal or a general is. Alright, so that's basically the disaster system. Having that ticking thing every month, fair enough. When the civil war starts, all disloyal characters and provinces will join them. Ooh, that's interesting. And possible friends and families as well. A civil war is a war to the death, where provinces automatically switch owners when you occupy them, and if you lose the civil war, it's basically game over. Okay. Provinces automatically switch owners when you occupy them. That's the same as in Imperium Universalis. Let me know in the comments if that was also the same in EU Rome as well, because I haven't played that game, so I don't know, but maybe that is where Imperium Universalis got the idea from. I like it. I like it. It's pretty cool. Alright. And always remember, tyranny is not a help when it comes to get loyalty. Sic semper tyrannis. Okay. Interesting stuff, interesting stuff. So, what are the major things to take away from this? Keep your characters loyal. I like that cohorts being loyal to a character has both benefits and drawbacks. That's something I really do enjoy. Like, having decisions that aren't, oh, this is just objectively better in every way, why don't we do it? Having them be a little bit less, you know, cut and dry, black and white and all that. I like it. I like it. It's good stuff. Let me quickly refresh and see if there are any decent comments from the devs. Because usually there are. So let's have a look. Can a disloyal governor of your culture also seek independence instead of civil war? No. Okay, so if you are... He said here that... Where is it? Province loyalty. Provinces, independence war if the dominant culture is not your primary culture group, or civil war if they are of your culture group. So, okay. But if it is a civil war that breaks out, he did say that all provinces that are disloyal will join it. So, okay. It's going to be interesting to fight one of those civil wars. Alright. Is the happiness of some pop classes more important than other classes? Do different cultures have different needs to generate pop happiness? Apparently not. Also, Civil War sounds really, really interesting. I agree with that. But I'm worried that character loyalty management could turn into a massive bribe spam, like getting vassals out of factions in CK2. I hope not. It's not really possible to spam them all. Nice. Just reply to a single bit. That's fine. It's totally fine. Yeah, I mean, I guess I do remember having to do the bribe spamming in CK2, but yeah, if it's not possible, let's hope that is true. Okay. Why is losing a civil war game over? Won't the country still exist after, as in EU4, or if your character be alive in CK2? No, you have been annexed then. Alright. I really want to fight a civil war now. Like, it sounds really fun. In a civil war, I go about occupying on the provincial level or city by city. It's like normal wars. Okay, and basically game over, boot the game menu, yes, end game screen. And how do you choose sides? You're always the loyalists. Oh, wow. Apparently people weren't too impressed with this answer. I guess it's probably this part. You're not allowed to be the dissenters. Okay. Disappointed with the Civil War countdown mechanic. It feels very sterile and impersonal. Used to be whenever they had a chance to start they would, but that's not good. I don't know what UX means, to be honest. No idea. Alright, well, I guess that'll be good enough for now. So, yeah. Civil Wars and loyalty. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm curious. Oh, hang on. This is something I haven't seen before. There's an attrition icon that looks different to EU4. Well, it's not really different. It's still a skull. But it's in a different spot. Lovely. Things are changing. I like it. Alright, well, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And, yeah, I shall see you next week for... Oh, he doesn't actually give a teaser for next week. That's interesting. That's the first time he hasn't. Well, I'll see you next week for whatever we see next week. Bye-bye for now.